Welcome to Yerushalmi, Bava Daf Lamed Beis. We're on the bottom of Daf Lamed Aleph Lamed Beis, by the Gemara. Chereshet v'kat Megias and Ra v'chule. Tanu learn v'edim she'amru. So we're starting now. Well, it's the middle of a case. We'll see in a minute. So you have Edim she'amru midon alesh pliny shesima in avdes. This guy went and he blinded his ev, the people and then he knocked out his tooth. Shekain Rav Oimer. The Rav would prefer it this way because tooth is cheaper. So if he knocked out first his eye, so that is Yais Yotzel Cheres with the eye, and the Rav only has to pay for the shame. It's cheaper than vice versa. We would knock out his tooth and then his eye, we would have to pay the Eved for his eye. When him turns out that Zayimim, Misham Eved, they have to pay the Eved. They have to pay the Eved, the difference between they wanted to cause him the loss of the payment for his eye by saying that the Rav knocked out his tooth second. So Freit Gemara understand. When I of the Mema camp, they were found Zomim. Freit Gemara understand. If they're found to be Zomim, so if that's the case, they wanted to cause the Rav to lose his Eved. So they have to pay him for the whole Eved. Not only that, they should have to pay the Rav for his eye. So obviously, and we'll go into my fold on this, is that there's a lot missing over here. In other words, this little segment that was brought down from this this EFTA is not the whole case, and obviously there's more to it. And as we were saying, there must have been a first pair of witnesses that came, and they were the ones who said that in reverse, that it happened in reverse. That first he knocked out his tooth and then his eye. So they did not cause, the second pair of edis did not cause this Evet to go to Cheres. He's going to go to Cheres anyway. The only question is, what's he getting paid for, his eye or his tooth? And we take a see, even in a case, al Pliny, where Aiden come and they say, we bear witness that so and so shenichnas tachs yodei shalom. He went to serve, to be an evet for some guy. He went, he was completely healthy. And he ended up, he was chal b'shtayim. So we see, even if we say, we don't know exactly what happened over here. We just know he went in healthy, and he comes out, he's missing an eye and a tooth. So he goes free, and he gets paid for the second one. Now, since we don't know what the second one is, was it his eye, was it his tooth? It's and he would get compensated at least for the tooth. Okay, so okay, the Mishnah halacha vav someone who blows or hits his friend. Notice he has to pay him a salary. You have to give him money. Satrai, if he gave him a smack. So nice and like says, give him 200 zlotys. It's embarrassing. You give him a smack on the cheek. Assuming he's not his rabbi. If he smacks him with the back of his hand, nice and it's even more embarrassing. Tzon Boznoi pulls his ear, Tosh Besara pulls his hair, Rokak he spits Vigia by Roik, and Roik gets to him, the saliva gets to him, Hevet Halisu Menu, he takes off his robe, in those cases that's all a person wore, or Parash Shalisha takes off the lady's tichel. Nois na ba mezuz is give 400 zuz. Kol if ich voide now ba mezuz is a large amount of money, but that really depends on the level of the status of the person who he embarrassed. The more choshev is, the more he has to pay. I'm going to keep. I feel nim should be Israel. Right, nice and kilo him b'nei choyden. Shiyodim and we look at them as if they're temporarily they're temporarily poor. Shein b'nei Avram mitzvah Yaakov, therefore really chashiv. And the Mishnah brings down a story. Ma'aseh bechad shapar rosh shel isha ubas nafnei Rabbi Akiva b'chiva litin la ba mezos. There was a guy who knocked off a lady's her snood and the street, and Rabbi Akiva was mechayev him to pay 400 zuz. Amalei said, Rabbi, tell his man, give me some time. And us like Rabbi Akiva said, no problem, you can pay. You have time to pay. Shimra, oimedes al pesach chatzera. So he waited for her to come out of her chakta, and shibra sapach b'fonei boy kisser shemen. So he breaks a barrel and a little bit of oil in it. Mamish is of oil, a little bit. Gilas is right. What does this lady do? She takes off her tichel, by some tapachas. So she's soaking up the oil, a little bit of oil. So for such an isser of oil, she goes and uncovers her hair. So what does this guy do? We had Adam standing by. He comes from Bekiva with him. Rabbi, Lazuani knows now about me. Zuz, even for a couple of pennies of oil, she takes off her head covering mechaber to pay 400 zuz. Amaloi, the Bekiva says to him, why shechol batzmai apishenu rishoyi pata? Someone who goes and hits himself, he's not allowed to do that, but he's pata. Yet someone else comes and hits you, he's chayv. And same thing cuts in the tiyos of someone who cuts down your trees. saplings. Albi Shenur show is not supposed to do a potter. Bachim cuts in tears if someone else goes and cuts down this guy's saplings chayov. So therefore, you're also chayiv to pay. So the Gemara together chaveru nice nice sell b'chulei. Amar Bekiva filon shbis b'chulei. Tani Rav Karni leveita. If you kick now there's a whole bunch of different pshatim over here. Just go just the straight pshat over it. I'll just go straight my fullest first pshat. Tani Rav Karni leveita achas. You kick him in the foot you have to pay one. Like a kuva, if you need a guy with a knee shalosh, you pay three. Misak lunkis, you're hitting on the back of the hand, according to one shot. Chamesh Esrei, you have to pay him 15. And again, there's different shatim over here and different ramazim and different amounts. We'll just go with this. Okay. Chadam Hashem Shlokim Avayis says, okay, nice and loydemei bushasim mishalei. You have to pay full busha. Now, depending on how harsh a person is. And we see such a story. Chabanosh, there was a guy, Ikbid or Rabbi Bachanina. He bashed Rabbi Bachanina, was a Adam Chashav. Also of the Commander Shlakish, we can't say literally the dove. He had to pay a liter of dove, a tremendous amount of money to Rabbi Bachanina. Rabbi Shlakish was mechayim to pay that money. So see, it goes Lafi Vaida. Zog the Mishnah, Rokak v'gi by a roik. That's what's in the Mishnah. Hechne gi by a roik is at gufa. Is it only if you spit and it lands on his hand, then he chayv? Or maybe at kevko lands on his shirt, maybe also chayv. No answer. El rokak v'loi gi by a roik ma. What happens if you spit, but it doesn't get you? But it's embarrassing. I spits at you. And he misses. So Rabbi Yossi Adam Ramavayish es chaver b'devarim potter. Someone who just calls somebody a name, embarrasses him, stam, he's potter. Obviously not allowed to do it, but you're potter. So you see from here the same thing will be with the spit. If it doesn't hit the guy, okay, not allowed to do it, but you're potter. Tanu Ev welcome to Rabbi Yochanan. Harakter Shari, you killed my axe. The guy says to somebody, hey, you killed my axe. I say you chopped down my trees. Valo I'm in a day, chayiv. So Rabbi Yochanan says to Rabbi Vo, Hein Tanisa Elaine, Lamakrilus and Lamakbilus. Go teach this. Right, you're teaching us the chiluk and biluk. In other words, this is a stupid thing to say. Who would think such a thing? Why is he chayiv? Because he says any day that's why the guy's chayiv. Just because someone says, "Oh, you did this to me," I say, "I don't know, chayiv." Amalei. So Ram says, "No, that I made a mistake. Even in the morning came. This is the way it goes. Meet nonamish pliny. Aiden come and say shaharek shar or right shaharek shar pliny. So then he is chayiv. So obviously, so the Mafula says, obviously he's chayiv. They ate him there. It's a whole different case. So we're talking about a case where it was a shur that was hoylech lamisa because he gored, and therefore was mechuyev misa. And this person stole the mitzvah of that guy to put his shur to death. So the same way the Mafula says that you chayiv if you're right, if someone does kisei dam for you, it quickly covers over the blood. So you lose the mitzvah. He's mechayiv to pay if causing you the loss of the mitzvah. Same thing over here for the shar. So Rabbi Yochanan says, "Ha Amira, this is taka good gesagt." Okay. Halacha zayin sagt the Mishnah for pishu noisein loy even if you pay the guy for the busha, you have to ask him for mechilus. Now it says va'ata hoshevesh so ish hinavu and aish loy amoichel achzari. And where do we see that the moichel that the person should not be nachzari, he should moichel him? So he says, so you say Dam Favi Melech, right? In other words, Avram forgave him. Zok the Gemara. After you have to ask Mechila. The friends of Yev that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wasn't happy that they spoke to him. So he told them, Shiva Porim Shiva Elam Avdi Yev. Go to my Eved Yev Yochel Lifas Atimni Yovildo Shoichi. Toifa Namosi V'Yasa V'Goyme V'Soifa Inim Ha'Oime V'Hashem Shovish V'Us Yev B'Spala Bad Reis. You see, Yev went and down for his friends. No, he's Moichelem. Yosef Hashem is Kol Shali Yev Lemishne. He doubled everything he has. So not just he got schar for being Moichelem. Fine. Tanav Yudah Mishum Rebbe Gamliel. So we see over here, Richamcha knows Racham, he gives you Racham, it will increase you. Simon Zayah Hebiatcho, calls man Shat Rachman, Mokim Racham Alecha, Eincham Rachim, Ein Mokim Racham Alecha. Notice maybe you have a reason to be baladic. But at the end of the day, you have to Moichel. If you're Moichel, Kodesh Baruch Hu will treat you differently. See, Becha, he increases you, he multiplies you. Let's say do something to somebody, do something wrong. right? And he goes once, twice, three times a lake right? And the person's not Moichlim. Yasa Shuda Spinei Adam, let him go and get three people together. If I send him in front of them, he should ask him in front of the Ksiv, Yoshev al Anoshim. Yasa Shuda Shel Anoshim was Yoshua al Anoshim is like Shuda Shel Anoshim. Yemachtas Yoshev Asi, Veloy Shavali. I'm trying to correct what I did. It wasn't worth it for me, and ask for Mechila. And obviously the person should Moichlim. Also came Aksiv Tamon. Podonavshim Avo B'Shachas. He's put himself of going into Gehenna, and he'll be in light. That he was not Moitzi Shemra on the person. Because how can you recall the Shemra? If you go and you published on the internet, this guy did such and such, and now everybody knows about it, it's all over the place. Big problem with people who comment, especially negatively on other people's products or restaurants, leave negative reviews. There's no way to take that back. There's no amount to the damage that's caused. Halacha ches, sagt Eli Mishnah, ha'im sames eine kates yodi shavas ragli chai. Someone says, knock out my eye, chop off my hand, break my foot. Chayv. Even the guy told you to do it. I'm not lifter, still chayv. Krask Susi says, rip my shirt, shavas kadi, break my jug. Chayv, chayv. I'm not lifter, but he tells the guy in this case, says, I'm not lifter, pata. I say, Ken Lish plays, says, hey, go and do it to that guy, even I'm not lifter. And don't worry, I got you covered. Chayv is chayv. Maybe go for him. It doesn't matter whether he punches the guy in the nose or he rips his shirt. In both cases, is chayv. Zok the Gemara oimes sames eini katas yadi oimes sames eini shemazi kasni. Says blind eye. What are we talking about? My case is not just saying stam nakam eyes. My eyes bothering me. Kata yadi shemazi kasni. Maybe it's gangrene, it's infected. Still chayv. So it gives us a spot, by the way. Okay, amanas lifter. Still chayv. We're talking about a case where he says behin shulav. In other words, a guy says to him in such a tone of voice, "What? I'm an ass lifter." So you say it in such a way. Obviously, he means to chayiv. He says, "Sure, I'm an ass lifter. Don't worry, you potter." Okay, then taka potter. Must be because I'm pegam mishpacha. So therefore, in other words, so if I say to you, I'm an ass lifter in a tone of voice that's hein is kehein, no, as I say, yeah, I'm an ass lifter, don't worry about it, I'm an ass lifter, then taki be part. The shog shom behein shu hu kehein. He must eat it. No, it's hein shu kehein. Abehin shu kelav, then he's taka chayiv. And mil sidr shlok shamash shamin. Right, and that's even in the case, Rav Shlosh is going to Seifa, even in the case of the Kalim, that that he is that he is chayv. Milzer Shlosh Shamash Hashem lekroivim boishes. Why does Rav Shlosh say that Hain by where he's talking about punching the guy in the nose that he's chayiv? Why? Because his relatives don't want to walk around with him. The guy's walking around as missing a hand. It's terrible. It's embarrassing. That boishes he can never moichel. Tani Soshan Sugayim, a similar case. Israel, that was Ma'anis Begakayim going with a gun, Nevanatlo, Mimenu Mamin Chavera, Befon of Potter. So a guy is working in a bank, it's his bank, and someone's depositing money, and there's a holdup. And they take the money in front of the other guy, Hakadenis Potter. However, not lo, but Nasan Lahem, Chayv, it takes from the depositor, and then the depositor leaves, and the robbers come in to hold up to make the holding back after the customer left already. In that case, it's Chayv. So Rabbi Yossi qualifies it. So Rabbi Yossi, I thought the tema b'shamaloi mama and stam. If the person said mama and stam, in other words, he came and he said it's a hold up, and you, in place of the hold up, instead of giving him your own money, you gave the depositors money. I have a mom and Pliny, but if they said give us so and so's money, feel not of an biyad pata. So then, even if they said give us Shimon's money, or deposit money by you, in that case, you're still pati. You're not mechuyev to give your life. The guy's holding a gun to your head. You're not mechuyev to give your life for Yanon's money. How do you look perka chavar chaveri? How do you look perka chavar chaveri? How do you look perka chavar chaveri? Beli neder. Mazel tov, mazel tov.